Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. So after reading that confession yesterday, if you still remember that story that I read about the man who is saying that he's in the United Kingdom, but he is a herbalist, who was saying that your mission here on YouTube was to make sure that as many people as you were supposed to direct them so that they can become ritualists. So after reading that confession throughout the day, that was when my driver, who is in DRC, he had traveled from South Africa, went to DRC to deliver some mealie meal there. After he had offloaded, that was when he told me that they wanted to grab the keys of the truck, and he refused. And then they took his passport. So they impounded the truck. The reason as to why they did this, it is because after we had loaded, when he was traveling, going to DRC, in South Africa, they loaded 2 trucks, and we don't even know the owners of that company. Those trucks, we are not even related to them in any way. Our company has no relationship at all with that company. It is just that we loaded for the same mother company who has the contract. So these people from DRC, when they order the mealie meal in South Africa, then a South African company will look for trucks. So we also send our truck, and it loaded under them. So the company in DRC is saying that they want to hold the truck until the South African company pays them for the mealie meal that is missing. So that is the situation. We are praying, and we know that we are going to succeed. As painful as it is, knowing that there is a possibility of losing an asset that is almost 1 million rands in DRC. But I woke up in the morning and I told myself that it is what it is, but I will not bow down to such an extent of accepting such a satanic mission. I'll never do that. The same way that I was able to purchase that truck, we can still purchase more assets without using any blood sacrificing, only by trusting in God. So that is some of the things that are happening in the background. Let's move over to the next confession that I have for you today. The confession, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashey, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a man that is based here in South Africa. I am a man from Zim, and I am aged 35 years old. There was a time when I went on Facebook, and then I met this traditional healer. After I had met that traditional healer, that was when he told me that he could offer me some kind of help. He could assist me so that I can do some rituals and I can get rich. After we had spoken on Facebook, this man, he then told me that in order for me to become rich, I was supposed to give him 20,000 rands. And it was very difficult for me to raise such an amount because I did not have a proper job. I was not working permanently. I worked in South Africa for the whole year whilst I was raising that money so that I can go to Zim and to do the money-making rituals. I struggled throughout the year as I was busy saving some money. And then after I had saved the money, that was when I traveled to my country and I spoke with that traditional healer. Whilst I was still at his shrine, that was when he told me that in order for me to become rich, there was a sacrifice that was needed. I had to choose one amongst my relatives whom I wanted to run mad. So when that person will be running mad, that person would be making me rich. He told me that he was going to call all of my relatives in the spiritual realm. He was going to call all of them one by one. He was going to call them. And he had given me his walking stick that he uses whenever he is helping other people to become ritualist. So this walking stick that he gave to me, it has a small glass in the middle, and he said that look into that small mirror, and there are people that are going to appear in that mirror one by one, and you have to tell me who would have appeared so that we can choose the person that we want for our rituals. One by one, all of my relatives, they started appearing in that mirror, and then I would tell him that now my sister has appeared, now this is the person that has appeared in the mirror. But he was unable to use any of them for the rituals because after they would have appeared, they would quickly disappear. The traditional healer then said, I can see that you have tried, but you have failed. Let us move over to plan B. He told me that it could have been better for me if I had become rich without using the blood of my relatives, but to become rich just by choosing one amongst my relatives who could have started running mad so that I can become wealthy. Even though it could have been a better solution, because after we would have chosen the relative that I wanted to run mad, he said that we would go to the graveyards and speak with the spirits of the dead and choose one amongst the spirits of the dead, and then return back to the shrine and make that spirit of the person that would have woken up from the grave to possess one of my relatives, so that when they will be running mad, that spirit of the person that we would have woken up from the grave would be working for me and finishing all of his anger on my relative by making him crazy to run mad. And I had been told that this relative of mine, after this ritual, I was supposed to take care of that relative of mine, such that even if we would take that relative of mine that will be running mad to the doctors, those pills that they would give him or her would not work because it will be spiritual madness. He then told me that the plan B was that I was supposed to buy 3 chickens, in which I did, and to buy a goat, which we were going to use for the sacrifices. He then said that I was supposed to buy a bull, and when he told me that I was supposed to buy a bull, which we were going to slaughter as well, so that I can quickly become rich. At that time, that was when I told him that I did not have any money at all, and since I did not have money, and the traditional healer had told me that there was no way that he was going to borrow me some money, all that I was supposed to do was to make sure that I had to at least try to find someone who could assist me so that I can use money that I would have gotten somewhere, not from the traditional healer, even though he could afford to give me the money so that I can buy a bull and then we can slaughter that bull. For he had said that the Tokoloshi was going to drink the blood of the chickens that we were going to slaughter, the goat as well as the bull, so that it won't come back requiring other blood sacrifices. But I then spoke with my relatives and I lied to them that there were some documents that I wanted to fix in Harare. They did not know that when I was speaking with them, I was at the traditional healer's place and I wanted them to give me some money so that at least I can just pay the traditional healer a deposit. Like he had told me that you do not need to give me the full amount for the bull that I want to sell to you, but just give me something. Even if it is $300, it is going to be enough. All that matters is that those that are in the spiritual realm, the spirits can at least know that you have tried, and then the sacrifice can be accepted, and I cannot use my money to help you doing this blood sacrifice. When I was unable to do that, I then just told him to help me out so that we can just do that ritual, and then later on, after I would have gotten the money, I'll be able to buy the bull and we continue with the sacrifice, because I saw that with the money that I had lost, it was quite a lot. I just wanted him to assist me, and he agreed, but he gave me a warning that this was not a full sacrifice that I had done. After I had sacrificed those animals, that was when I was made to drink the blood. Unfortunately, I did not make money. My mother then passed away. After my mother had passed away, this traditional healer then told me that I was going to be accompanied by one of these other men who was working with him. We then went to my mother's funeral. So, according to our custom, when the coffin is brought from the mortuary, we put a white lace fabric on top of the coffin. So that is what we had done on my mother's coffin. Then I stole that white lace fabric, and this is what we did, me and that man whom I had been given by the traditional healer to accompany me, and he was going to use some charms so that everyone can fall fast asleep. When the body, my mom's body, arrived in the village, as per our custom, it had to sleep for a night in the kitchen, and then the next morning we would go to the burial site to bury her. So whilst the women were in the kitchen talking and singing, and us as men, we were sitting around the fire outside. And then that was when that man whom I was with told me that he was going to use the charms. He used the charms on everyone. For only about a minute, everyone that was there fell fast asleep. Me and him, we went into the kitchen whilst everyone was asleep, and then we took that white fabric and then I put it in his backpack, and we replaced it with another white lace fabric that we had bought, and my mother was buried with the one that we had bought, and no one even realized that this was what had happened. When we were burying my mother, people did not see that there was a snake that was on top of her coffin when we were busy filling up the grave, and if people had seen that this was what had happened, I'm sure that they were going to suspect, but they did not suspect anything. Before I had collected that white lace fabric that was covering my mother's coffin, that man had told me that I was supposed to say a prayer, and this was the prayer that I said. I said, "Dear mother, oh mother, it is I, your son, who has killed you. It is I, your son, who has used you in a ritual. Do not be angry at me, for it is I, your son, the same one that you carried in your womb for 9 months. And after you had carried me for 9 months, when you went into labor, all the pain that you felt, all the blood that you lost as you were giving birth to me. Yes, it was really painful when you gave birth to me. But after you had given birth to me, you did not kill me for the blood that you lost. You did not kill me for the pain that I caused you during labor. But what did you do, oh mother? When you heard me crying, did you not take me and made me to nestle on your breast because you loved me? The same way that I have caused so much pain in your life by sacrificing you, do not be angry at me, your son. The same sacrifice that you took when you were giving birth to me, please, dear mother, take that same sacrifice and take me as your child, as if I am your newborn baby, and let me breastfeed on you, oh dear mother." That was the prayer that I had been told to say whilst I was holding my mother's coffin. So I want you to assist me. Is it possible for me to go to Zinata, an organization for traditional healers in Zimbabwe, so that I can tell them my story? Because all that I want is the money that I gave this traditional healer. As for my mother's life and her soul, I know that I'll never be able to recover. But the money, I still have hopes that I can be able to recover the money that I gave to the traditional healer. I don't know if I'll be helped, because the plan that I have right now is that maybe if I can recover the money, I'll be able to start another business, since I have tried and I have failed as a ritualist. I always have dreams about my mother. Whenever I see her in my dreams, she will be busy plowing, working in the fields. And when I go to the place where she will be busy working, when I say, Mom, it is you. What are you doing here? Then my mom will look at me and I will see that her eyes would have been removed. When she tried to speak with me, she cannot because her tongue was cut off. All that she does is that she points at the edge of the field, and then I will start to walk towards the edge of the field. And when I reach the place where she would be pointing at, I will see the traditional healer that will be standing there guarding my mother as she is being used working in that field non-stop. That traditional healer told me that the snake that I saw, which was on top of my mother's coffin, it was the snake that was supposed to become my tokoloshi, but unfortunately, I have not made enough money. He promised me that when I would come back to South Africa, I would find money everywhere. Anywhere in my house, I was going to find money. But as we are speaking right now, I don't have anything. There is nothing, and I am regretting. Will that Traditional Healers Association from Zim assist me to recover my money from this traditional healer so that I can move on with my life and start another business? Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.